Hello, I'm Avery or Hazel or Kylie. You can just pick one, I don't care.
Hello, I am Lily.
And welcome to the From the Closet podcast. Today we are covering the 7 Deadly Sins. Lily, what season is this?
Season 4
Okay.
on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Okay. So today we're covering the 7 Deadly Sins season 4. If you'd obviously this podcast will contain spoilers for said season. If you'd like to avoid them, there will be a link in the description below to the Just Watch page for this series, which itself will have links to all the places you can rent, purchase, or stream this series, with price comparisons for renting and purchasing. For us here in the US, it's available for
AKA Netflix.
for us here in the US, it's available for streaming on Netflix. And that
It's
might
also
not last
Netflix
forever
original.
because Netflix might die in a couple of years. We don't know.
I mean, what if Spotify just dies in a few years and then poof, goodbye all of our episodes? Well, I don't
No,
know. YouTube also likes to dig its grave too.
even if Spotify dies, we have a backup of all of our episodes, 2 backups. Because, YouTube, Spotify, and Mega are not going to all go down at the same time.
I mean, unless if the internet just dies at once.
This
Now that's a
isn't the fifth.
dystopian future. Ready to be
This is
made.
not the 5th wave. But anyway,
already was made.
Anyway, so obviously Netflix, blah blah blah. Also in the description, you'll find a link to our Patreon where you can vote on future episodes of the show, as well as get access to episodes before they release, as well as early access to episodes of our sister show, Off the Shelf, which is about books and is exclusive to YouTube and Patreon. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Anchor.fm, which is now Spotify for podcasters, which itself will have links to every platform this podcast is on, as well as links to our Instagram and Twitter, where you can be notified when we release new episodes. And it will be a cold day in hell before I call Twitter X, and hell does not exist.
Huh.
So.
Wait, why did you say that?
Have I not explained to you about how, even though I'm Christian, I don't believe hell exists?
I don't... Maybe, though I forgot. Yeah, well.
Whatever, it's not important. Anyway, speaking of future episodes, join us next week for Bolt and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. And you can join us next month for The Dragon Prince, Book 3, I believe. And then in another month for, I believe, Season 5 of this show. And I think that's the last season, right?
Oh, yeah, Season 5, yeah, last season.
Good. Alright. Please get out if you'd like to avoid spoilers, because we are going to start talking about this series now.
Something I just remembered, I forgot to look something up.
Okay, well, look it up.
Whoops.
I gotta say, I most definitely would have stopped watching this series by now if it weren't for the podcast. And it's not that I hate it, per se. Okay, for starters, I have no attachment to this show. I don't really care that much to see where this goes. And then also, it is just next to impossible to get my head around the power levels of these characters, because it seems like the power levels of these characters just shift whenever the story feels like it. And
yeah.
I don't feel like these characters either consistently have the same level of power or show any kind of growth. Just for Meliodas, for an example, when the story wants him to, Meliodas is extremely powerful. Nothing can stand up to him. He's nothing close can even touch him. And then when the story wants him to be, he's getting ragdolled. And I'm like, the character that he's fighting doesn't seem to be more powerful than the main villain of even season 1. And
So,
that's what
the
frustrates me
thing,
about this show so much. It's like, I don't get these power levels. They seem to fluctuate more than fucking Rhode Island shoreline.
well, to be fair, that's kind of the point. I think even when power levels were introduced in the series, they say that it can fluctuate quite a bit. Based on, a person's energy level, what they fucking ate in the morning. It's never a set in stone thing. Why? And that also probably explains why they gloss over it so much.
I feel like
I
they
guess
gloss
really it's
over it
just.
because they don't want you thinking like about how powerful these characters really are. Like they straight up tell you Escanor is more powerful than Meliodas, but I guess that's not true because I mean Meliodas straight up fucking defeated him at near full power.
Actually, Escanor won that fight.
And then he lost.
But also, again, that fluctuating. That was Meliodas at his most powerful in assault mode. The one destined to become the next Demon King. Meliodas doesn't use his power because he'll become that.
And then there's God the whole mess with what everyone is. It's like particularly Gother, I just kept getting frustrated with that whole story of like how the original Gother was a demon and a member of the Ten Commandments and created the doll to interact with the world. But then, like, the doll fell in love and then, like, somehow had its memories erased.
I have no idea why you're saying somehow that was probably the most well, clear, and defined thing in the show.
How? Because, like,
To to erase the pain, Gother erased his own memories. Like if we've seen, Gother has power over memories and the mind. He shut himself out from his own memories, thereby shutting himself out from his own heart.
but then, like, his heart was also a physical thing. How did he lose that?
Okay, that's. So, for the longest effing time, I just assumed that the heart, like the heart magic, and I'm saying that quotation mark, just absorbed itself into Gother after enough time. However, um, actually, one of the episodes, the one where Gother gets back his heart, there's a post-credit scene which I never seen before, talking about how Gother just always had the heart magic within him, and that was just something like a reminder. That's all
I
it
don't know.
was.
It was a little annoying. Um, the reveal. Okay, so there's a reveal in this season, like about the curses placed on Meliodas and Elizabeth, and I'm a little bit annoyed by it. I won't lie, because the idea of two lovers or former lovers, one being immortal and one being cursed with reincarnation, is something I have seen at least 5 times already.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, it is a lot more common than you think.
I mean, of course I've seen cursed lovers before, but never something like this.
There are times where it's like, okay, this might be the first case of like they are destined to fall in love every single time that
Hmm.
I've seen. Because usually when I see something like the first time I saw something like this, um, like they were both normal humans. They and then one of them died, and the other tried to save them by like manipulating the gods,
Hmm.
and like that's what got her cursed to be immortal while he was still dead. Um, but then later, she tried to lead humanity in like a revolution against the gods. Like she
Hmm.
literally lied to like other humans, saying like she stole immortality from the gods and shit. Tried to lead humanity in a revolution against them, and they literally were like, "Here, let's press the genocide button," and they killed everybody except for her.
Damn, I love the genocide button.
There was no actual button. I'm just
Yeah,
rephrasing
no,
everything for comedy. But yeah, eventually, I don't know how they don't explain it, but it's probably like evolution or some shit. Humanity's back, and the gods take this guy out of the afterlife, and we're like, hey, the uh, the woman you loved is still out there. She's not the same as she used to be at all. And we're going to like allow you to like reincarnate and shit. It was a whole mess, but he's like he was given the goal of like unite humanity together, um,
hmm,
so that when the gods return, like humanity, the gods left the planet after they killed everyone, and were like, hey, like if humanity is united when we come back, then we will deem your planet is worth existing. But if you're
saving.
still fighting amongst yourselves, we're just going to wipe everyone out again.
Fun.
Yeah. And then, like, also, her curse was specifically worded in such a way that it actually can be removed, though,
Hmm.
like, by her own actions, but his is not. Her curse was like something like, I have I think the wording was like, I have made you immortal. You must learn the value of life and death. Only then may you rest.
I'm guessing she didn't do that.
No, she's like the main villain of the show, even currently. But the show's still ongoing,
Huh.
so
Oh, that's interesting. So, I mean, what I find so interesting about this curse is not, I mean, not only that they're cursed to, fall into each other and love each other. Meliodas will always witness her dying.
and then didn't they contradict that by saying like in her third life or whatever, she like completely lived out the whole thing, never gaining her memories back?
Um, I don't see how that's a contradiction.
Because they said like they'd fall in love, she'd regain her memories and then die in 3 days. Like that was supposed to be
No,
the
it's
curse.
not a. No, that's not part of the curse. It was if she regained her memories, not she will. she, and that's why that can happen. It was only if she regained her memories, then she'll die in 3 days. Though I think, and it was never mentioned, but I always had a theory that even if she doesn't regain her memories, Meliodas will still watch her die. Because even in the scene where she becomes old, he's right there next to her deathbed.
Mm. So there's this other scene where they're
Hmm.
telling the rest of the seven deadly sins about these curses, and I don't know if this is just a translation issue, but the way it's phrased doesn't
Hmm.
seem to quite match with the reaction. Because Meliodas specifically says, "My immortal life ends." And it's not clear if that means he would just die instantly or just resume aging. And the
Um,
way Deanne reacts leads me to think he would die instantly. But I don't know.
well, one thing, like, I think that was also a setup to Deanne later in the season feeling immense guilt over what she's done. And I'm also not, because I know the answer, and I'm not sure if I want to tell you or just let you experience the answer for yourself in the next season.
I'm just wondering if this, like, if this vagueness, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm just wondering if this vagueness existed in this dialogue in the original Japanese, or if this is just a quirk of the dub. And then, like, there are
Hmm.
things that you
Fuck, I actually
complained
can't
about.
remember.
There's like a thing you complained about earlier, well, yesterday, about like how the episode titles were different. And like to me, that's just like the dub team, the sub team. Like that
Yeah.
it tends to happen all the time in anime.
No, I hate how I noticed it. Like, I have gone the entirety of watching the show without noticing it, and then I noticed it once.
But yeah, I don't know. Like this show, it really does frustrate me with never feeling like I can understand how powerful these characters are, and like who's actually stronger than other characters or whatever. Like I'm
So I
cool with
actually do
like
want to.
I'm cool with
Sorry.
like Escanor's fluctuating power level because like they actually give a very rock solid explanation for why his power fluctuates. That one makes perfect sense. But the other characters I do not understand at all.
I mean, there's another thing about this where the characters just gain power level like it's candy.
Yeah, they gain it and then they also lose it. That's the thing. Or at least it seems like they lose it. Because when
Eh,
they go up against
like
opponents who, to me, feel weaker than some of the opponents we saw in season 1 or season 3. Um, so I don't know.
I guess okay, the best way to describe it is that you can summon more of your power, but of course that just makes you more exhausted. If you're already exhausted, you can't use as much as your power.
One
The
thing I
full
will
limit of your
say though
power.
is like I'm glad that they finally took advantage of Bond's immortality, even if it meant writing him out of the rest of the season. Which, to be fair, I think when you have a character who is immortal, you kind of need to do that sometimes.
And I also did get one thing wrong. he was only written out of this season. I'm pretty sure actually he returns quite early into the next season, but
Well, well, I should hope so because like the whole thing of
yeah,
like
because of the ending.
Meliodas is like he's got to stop Elizabeth from dying, and they've got what 2 days left to do that, maybe less.
Around that, yeah. Well, yeah, they're in like the dawn of the second day, maybe noon. Or actually, yeah, that would still be right.
I also just really don't like how seasons in this show just straight up feel like they end, um, like randomly. It's like, oh, we're done. Uh, okay, I thought there was more. I don't
I
know.
mean, with
Like,
this one, they, I don't know how to say, like, they defeat, who the hell was it again?
sorry, like you cut out a lot there.
No, yeah, no, they defeat, um, well, they defeat someone. The brother of Meliodas, that's not, the cool one.
They defeated Estarossa, who I didn't really
What
care
do you,
that much for as a villain. I'm gonna be honest.
what do you think about Estarossa? Like,
Yeah, I
just
don't
as a
know.
villain.
I didn't care for Estarossa at all. And whoever the fuck that was with him when he woke up was
Got handed
ex-
by a cat.
yeah. Uh, regardless, she was extremely fucking cursed. That made me uncomfortable. Like
Estarossa is
that's
a
some furry IRL shit.
Estarossa is a very interesting character. And his involvement in the next season is very, very mindfucky, actually.
So here's something that I know that well, okay, I don't know for sure, but I just get
Hmm.
this feeling that they're going to do in season 4. They're going to do this thing where they kill that one Ten Commandment who's like a snake inside of a test tube right now. And somehow they're going to keep Elaine alive even though she's supposed to die when that demon dies. Because they established that this season that Elaine will die if that demon also dies. I
Eh?
probably I probably put also in the wrong space there, but still, they very clearly established that if the demon dies, so does Elaine. So I get the feeling that in season 4, that demon's gonna die, or in order to get like its commandment
Season
absorbed or
5.
whatever. But uh, I don't know. It's and then like y'all introduced King Arthur in season 1. Don't have him pull Excalibur until this season, and then you have him immediately get ragdolled when he pulls it. Like, cool. Like, never mind that the sword is supposed to guarantee victory, according to legend, but
Supposed to guarantee victory. We're up against demons. And Chandler.
and then like he's I can't tell if he's dead or not.
I'm giving you a maybe on that one.
Oh yeah, and they also just give you like a reveal that Merlin's actually a little girl. Cool. That makes Escanor's crush extremely fucking weird.
Yeah, though there's another thing where technically she's. I'm following the anime trope, but technically she's 3,000 years old, somewhere around there. But of course, I just figured that Infinity just stopped her from aging. Dead stop. So
Yeah, but
she is completely immortal.
yeah, but the problem I have is the way Escanor was acting when she literally looked like a little girl.
Also, you have to remember Escanor's personality is very weird. Prideful, as you would say. Especially when the real Escanor is nothing but.
And then, multiple times this season we see King in his like other form, I guess. I don't really know how to say it. Just like the more bloated form.
Yeah.
And every time we see that, I'm just left thinking, how did this crew hang out for so long before like the whole ordeal that happened that was like the setup for season 1? How did they hang out for so long and King never revealed his true form?
Oh, armor. I believe the implication was that most of the time they were wearing armor. I mean, that's actually how no one knew Gother's true form. Though, of course, Captain Meliodas just straight up knows everyone.
And then the whole thing, like, okay, apparently Meliodas like has known Merlin the longest. I'm talking about of the Sins here, not in general, because of course he's known Elizabeth for longer.
Yeah.
And like, okay, like, I don't think she's 3,000 years old. I think, but I'm not sure. Like, that she could have been around at the same time as the Holy War. I'm not certain about that. Um, but yeah, like, I don't know. This show kind of feels like it throws story beats at the wall, and then they're like, okay, now that all these story beats are on this wall, let's just take a piece of string and let's connect them all and make it up as we go along.
I do wonder if that's like really what happened. Sorry. I do wonder if that's what happened, like when it was like when they were making the manga. Though, at least for me, I always like I do see this as like one consistent narrative, even if it does seem like they got a little bit drunk sometimes.
I feel like they were drunk like a majority of the time, but maybe that's just my personal take. Because,
Though,
like,
to
we have a fucking
add
vampire
on,
race now? Or vampire cat? I don't know what the fuck that thing is. That's freaky.
oh yeah, them, which, if I'm
Oh,
being
and let's not
honest, might
forget
just
that
been explained in a movie,
and let's
or at least
also
explained
not
in a
forget
movie better.
let's not let's also not forget that we have the goddess race, which also has males, even in the highest ranks. So why is it called the goddess race specifically?
Yeah, I don't know, but one of the biggest things to mention is that the goddess race are not really gods. They're more like advanced angels. Though that's actually good. So remember at the beginning of the episodes where I forgot to look up something.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know that Meliodas is the son of the Demon King, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was mentioned very briefly, but the supreme deity is Elizabeth's mother, who never gets mentioned again. That is the most tragedy thing about this. The most tragic thing about this series. There is, we deal with, the Demon King. We never even see the supreme deity.
We did see the supreme deity, though.
Okay,
Like they,
well, we don't see them any time other than that.
yeah, because like I was like, wait, they showed her in a flashback where like she cursed Meliodas, I think, because I'm pretty sure like the supreme deity cursed Meliodas and the demon king cursed Elizabeth.
I believe that's how that happened.
Yeah.
And there's just like nothing. I don't. If it. Okay, sorry. I should probably formulate this better. There's nothing in this anime that gives us any more information about the supreme deity. There might be
Cool.
something in like the original manga. There might be something in the next series that they made that's about their kids. I don't know. However, that's just what this is. This the this anime that ended at season 5 does not mention anything about the Supreme Deity other than this season.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing because to me, I was expecting season 5 to go in the direction of like they have to fight off both the demon race and the goddess race. Because to me, they both seem pretty damn evil this season.
Yeah, no, the goddess race are asses.
I
Though,
mean,
luckily, they don't have their true form, and um, only 3 of them are currently here right now.
so just one other question. There is one character I enjoyed a lot this season, and I'm curious how the fandom like has responded to her. How do people generally feel about Derriere?
You're. I'm sorry, but you're actually asking the wrong person. I am actually just absent in the community. I watched the series, and that's basically it.
I felt like Derriere was a pretty interesting character. Like, by far the most interesting character this season for me.
I will be on. Like, what happened to her in this season, I honestly want to say is probably one of the most tragic things that happened this season.
Yeah. Like,
But,
holy
hmm,
hell. Okay,
so,
so she joins the Ten Commandments, and then the goddess race kills one of the archangels, just fucking murders her sister right in front of her. Um, she sacrifices her heart to become Endura, which frankly I've found kind of dumb, but whatever, that's a whole thing. Um, and then like Elizabeth and was it just Elizabeth that saved her?
Elizabeth started it, but the two other archangels that weren't the asses, Mael, helped her, and obviously Meliodas kept Mael away from them. Mael, what a fucking ass.
But anyway, she and some other uh some other commandment get saved by Elizabeth, and they then live for thousands of years, come back to Earth, because presumably this is Earth. I mean, it's like literally the place that they're like the world map we're seeing literally looks exactly the same as the United Kingdom, and they're literally calling it Britannia, which is a very common fantasy name for the UK. So,
Huh. I never knew that. But yeah, continue.
yeah. Um, so, like, you have that, and then Esterosa shows up, and then kills her companion as he's about to, like,
Mom
seemingly as
speed.
he's about to, like, profess his love to her. And she's like,
Oh, right.
she didn't care for the goddess race at all, but she didn't seem willing to fight Elizabeth after Elizabeth saved her.
Yeah, she just didn't know where else to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I found her interesting. I can't remember if she made it out of this season alive or not, but
I believe she does.
okay.
Though,
There are also some bits of a, attempted comedy in this season that annoyed the shit out of me because they felt they just were not funny. There were plenty of funny
what?
moments, but there were some moments that I just cringed so
Oh,
hard
okay.
at. Yeah. So the first one, King and Deanne saw each other naked, and there was the
Yeah, I
whole
just
thing
felt
about
that was
whether or
just,
not,
that's just obligatory, haha, standard anime trope moment.
yeah, and then they have this whole conversation about whether or not King has balls.
You know, I don't want to know the, um, sorry, I just can't think of the word right now. Whatever. Just the insides, how inside of working, how a fairy. Just
Yeah, I don't know. It was just
also, how can they
cringy.
fly
And
without
then
wings?
and then you have the other one that really stands out to me as being like extremely cringy is
Hmm.
when Gloxemia and Droll lose their commandment mark, and Droll's like, "Oh, mine was on my butt cheek. Can you check to make sure if it's gone?"
I've actually wondered, like when I was rewatching that scene, is if there was actually an animation or just drawing error, and they just never shown his mark, so they had to quickly explain that with, oh yeah, it's just on his butt.
I don't know. I feel like this was
I
just an
never got that
attempt.
confirmed. I don't know. That could just been a fucking lame ass joke, but I did always wonder.
I mean, knowing knowing anime, it just in general, I feel like it was a lame ass joke.
Yeah. Though it did make me wonder, like, in order for that to be true, we had to never seen Droll's marks throughout the entirety of the season. Not season 3 and this season.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
But whatever, I digress.
But yeah, like I kind of hope we're like I kind of hope after season 5 we're just done with this franchise. Like even if there's like more, like from what you've told me there's like a series with their kids, I don't want to cover it.
Well, I don't really want to watch it either, but luckily, that's just manga right now. We might return to this franchise again through movies. Maybe. I've never actually decided on that.
Are the movies canon or is it like most anime where the movies aren't canon?
I honestly have to look that up. And if I, my most honest opinion, I do feel like it would be a mix. Like some could be like some are canon and some aren't.
Oh, great. So it's confusing as shit. Cool.
Then again, it all just could just not be canon, and we can all just live our happy-go-lucky lives.
Yeah, and then there's situations like the Future Diary, where there is one movie, and not only is it canon, it's the end of the series. Like, you get to the end of the
Huh.
anime, and you're like, what the fuck? Where's the ending? It's in the movie, which isn't dubbed. Yeah, the rest of the
Great!
yeah, the rest of the anime is dubbed, but the movie isn't.
But is it subbed or fan subbed?
It's subbed.
Official or
Yeah, like
fan?
it has an official subs. It's just
Okay.
the movie doesn't have a dub at all.
I can go with an official sub. Just the fan subs can be unreliable at best.
I mean, official subs can also be pretty unreliable.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't even consider that.
Oftentimes, fan subs are better than official ones, from my experience. I think it's fan
I guess
dubs
I
where you
haven't
really get into.
ventured out.
I think it's fan dubs where you really get into stuff where it's like, this is bad.
Oh yeah, no, I think I'm just thinking about fan dubs. Well, if it's a one parody video, I don't watch anime that often, so I guess my opinions don't really mean much.
You want to know what's one of the most annoying things to me?
Hmm.
So, this does not make sense to me at all. So you
Okay.
know the show Ruby.
Correct.
Okay, so it's an American-made TV show. It has
Got
a
it.
Japanese dub. For
Correct.
some reason, fans have created a fan dub of the Japanese version of the show.
Is this just Power Rangers again?
No, see,
Like, no.
Power Rangers is a completely original show made with footage from another show. This is a English fan dub of the Japanese dub of an already English show.
I have questions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's dead now. Like, thank God. Just like every fucking Ruby Abridged project that's ever been started. Holy shit. There have been so many attempts at Ruby Abridged, and they all died. And it wasn't like from Rooster Teeth or anything like that. They just all stopped working on it. There was even one that only had one person working on it and doing all the voice acting, and even they quit.
I can understand why.
Yeah, like, no matter what, even if you have one person or you have a huge team of people, making an abridged series is really fucking hard and takes incredible amounts of work. Which is why I think Dragon Ball Z Abridged is amazing, even if it
So I
didn't
do
finish Dragon
wonder.
Ball Z.
Yeah, but I do wonder if a lot of it also has, because you did mention like Ruby does have a interesting fandom. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's the other problem. The Ruby fandom is, well, has gotten to be an incredibly toxic place. And I think the reasons for that is, for one, like, it has become increasingly popular on YouTube to make hate content for pretty much any medium. Like, and it, like, people make tons and tons of money just hating on the MCU on YouTube, uh, and all kinds of other stuff. And it makes them a lot of money. Ruby is a free series on the internet and was on YouTube for a solid chunk of time. It's not on YouTube anymore, but like it got its start on YouTube for several seasons. It would release simultaneously on YouTube and the Rooster Teeth site. So like, yeah, like this, it just makes sense that Ruby being so heavily um
On
like the
YouTube.
Ruby community being so heavily tied to YouTube would suffer the impact of this trend on YouTube a lot more. And then like the tragedy of Monty Ohm dying, Monty Ohm being the creator, the tragedy of him dying just before season 3 like aired really does not help. And the controversies that have come out of Rooster Teeth as a company have not helped either. So yeah, I don't know. Like the Ruby community is a kind of a dumpster fire, and there's a reason I don't really engage with the fandom at all anymore. I used to, but I can't. But yeah,
Okay, I
like
really did not expect that to happen.
yeah, I heard it. I just kept talking so that we wouldn't have to chop the recording up into 2 bits. But yeah,
Okay, but I will have to edit it to edit silence in that part. But thank you for talking.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll probably discuss the whole thing more when we talk about Ruby. Because there are I don't get it, but there are legitimately people out there who think the first 2 seasons or the first 3 seasons, it varies, are the only good ones. And I seriously have to question what the fuck they're talking about. Because the series only got better starting in season 3. Maybe seasons 4 and 5 are a little bit weak, but seasons 6, 7, and 8 were all fucking amazing. And there are people who act
Like if
like
you
they're
wanted to
absolute shit. Like bottom of the barrel garbage is what some of the people are acting like.
if you want to put like a comparison, it would basically like if someone said that seasons 1, 2, and 3 of um oh my god, Agents of Shield is the best and everything else is garbage.
I have heard someone argue that Agents of Shield season 5 is garbage, but that's it. In fact, I might actually be the one with a hot take by saying season 2 sucks.
Weird.
Because it feels like a lot of people really, really loved Agents of Shield season 2. At least that's the vibe I got.
Hmm.
I did not. I
I
hated
wouldn't
the
say
real.
that it sucked, but like obviously I feel like it's much better in the later seasons.
Yeah, I still hate the real Shield plotline. Not just like not only now just because it was annoying, but also because it has no lasting impact on the rest of the show. Absolutely none. Their ringleader dies and everything collapses. And
Hooray!
yeah, like they go straight back to Coulson running everything, no group of people advising him or anything. So it's like, wow, okay, you did all of this for nothing. Cool.
I mean, did
Stupid,
it also
annoying ass
introduce
plotline.
Inhumans?
Yeah, they did
Which
introduce
that,
Inhumans, but that had little to do with the. It had little to do with the whole thing of like the real Shield thing.
yeah. Also, we have gone so off topic that we're also now at 50 minutes. Holy, when did that happen?
Yesterday.
What?
See, I love saying shit just to confuse you. Yeah, we've definitely been recording this episode for more than 24 hours.
Let me see if there's anything that we missed just from the season 4.
Honestly, I have nothing more to say. It felt like the season ended too short, and it felt like they were setting up. I keep wanting to say Dreyfus, but I know that's someone else. The other brother of Meliodas, the one who they didn't defeat this season. It felt like they were setting him up to be the big bad of this season, but it turned out he wasn't.
No. The ultimate villain of this show. I mean, I guess it can be clear. Like, you've already. If I met is also a weird word as well. So I'm just not going to say anything.
Okay. Well, you want to get into our ratings then?
Yeah, sorry, I almost thought you said our ratings. I almost thought you meant like critic ratings. Like, what critic ratings? They don't exist. No,
Well, neither
yeah,
do
our
we.
ratings. Ah!
7.5.
Okay. 7.5, huh? 8.7.
Alright. Well, join us next week for Bolton Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, next month for the Dragon Prince Book 3, and the month after that for Seven Deadly Sins Season 5. But until then, I've been Avery, that's been Lily, and we'll be seeing you.